Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Austin, your cartoon is super funny and it makes my grandma happy. Thank you. Every time your cartoon plays, my grandpa laughs a lot. Thanks, Austin.
Welcome to Austin's Cartoons, where life's biggest topics get turned into your daily dose of laughter. Let's get this comedy rolling.
Secure 65 health plans where senior thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Did you choose your Medicare plan based on $0 today, only to pay thousands when your health was on the line? Watch now.
Are you sure the benefit you're receiving is the one you actually earned? Or are you quietly leaving thousands on the table? Watch now.
What if the mistake that cost seniors thousands was simply not knowing which question to ask? Watch now here at Secure 65 Health Plans.
Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
Happy Thursday. You guys, one mistake can cost seniors thousands. If you're here with me right now, take a breath. Not that I'm fine breath, the real one, the kind you take when you're finally ready to stop guessing and start protecting your future on purpose. Because the truth is, most people are not struggling. Not because they're irresponsible anyway. They're struggling because nobody ever sat them down and said, Susie, here's how the system actually works. And here's how to make sure you're getting what you already paid for. Welcome back to Secure 65 Health Plans, you guys. Happy Thursday. I'm Monet Swan, your host, and this is your Thursday Big Podcast. A longer episode where we slow down, keep it practical, and focus only on what matters to you. So before we get into it, do me a quick favor, because it truly, truly helps this information reach the people who need it most. If you haven't yet, you know what I'm going to say, subscribe, hit that like button, and share this episode with one friend, one cousin, one coworker, one neighbor. Why? Because somebody around you is making decisions in silence right now. And today we're going to cover 3 things in one full episode. 2 major segments on Social Security, the benefits people miss, the mistakes that cost money, and the spouse and survivor rules you need to know. And 1 major segment on Medicare, because a lot of people are saving money on paper and paying for it later in the worst of ways. And it usually happens when their health is on the line. So, all right, let's get into it. You know what breaks my heart? Not that Social Security is complicated. No. Not that Medicare has rules. No, that's understandable. What breaks my heart is that people spend decades paying into systems meant to protect them. And then they don't get the full protection because they didn't know what to ask, didn't know what numbers mattered, or got discouraged after just one bad phone call. So we're going to start with what matters most first. Okay. A lot of people hear something like, well, Social Security benefits aren't taxed anymore. Woohoo! Let me say this clearly. That is not true across the board, you guys. Some people don't pay taxes on Social Security because their total income is really, really low. Okay. So it's low enough that they don't have to worry about it. But many people, especially if your income is even moderately higher, can owe taxes on some of their Social Security benefits. So here's the simplified version you can actually remember. Social Security taxation is based on what's called your combined income. Okay, combined income. That's generally your adjusted gross income plus any non-taxable interest, plus half of your Social Security benefits. That half part is where a lot of people get confused. If you're single and your combined income is under a certain level, you may not pay taxes on your Social Security at all, whatsoever. But if it's higher, some portion, up to 50% or more, depending on your situation, can be taxable. So the key isn't panic. The key is awareness, because surprises are expensive. And I want you to go into this tax season, retirement planning, with your eyes open, not getting blindsided. Now let's shift into the second part, Social Security topic, because this one hits people harder every year, especially when they retire mid-year. So a lot of people think, well, Monet, if I'm going to earn too much this year, I can't start benefits, right? I can't start benefits. And that's not always true, especially in the first year you start benefits. In your first year, Social Security often focuses on monthly earnings after you begin benefits, you guys, not what you earned earlier in the year before you started. So let's just say you worked January through June, made really good money, and you stop working in July. Now, you might still be able to start benefits in July if your earnings after fall under the monthly limits. And that's a huge difference. It means you don't automatically have to wait until January just because your annual income was high earlier in the year. But here's the key. You have to report it correctly, okay? You have to understand what Social Security is looking at and how it applies to your timeline. Now, I'm going to give you something that sounds super small, but can save families from financial disasters. So, if you haven't done this, I want you to do it this week. And it's important. Set up your My Social Security account at the official Social Security website and check your earnings record. So important, because your benefits are based on what you paid in, your earnings history. Okay. If your earnings are missing, if there's an error, it can lower your benefits. And there's another reason this matters. If someone is working under your Social Security number, whether it's identity theft or a mistake, at first it might look like, oh, wow, extra earning. That helps my benefits. But later, when Social Security catches it, they remove those earnings from your record. And if you received higher benefits because of it, well, you can end up with an overpayment and a mess that takes months, possibly even years, to unwind. So yes, check your earnings record now. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're wise. Now, before we go into spouse benefits, I want to share one practical healthcare protection tip that can save people from medical debt and stress. You ready? Okay. If you or someone you know is struggling month to month, there's something called charity care at nonprofit hospitals. Nonprofit hospitals can have charity care programs for people who can't afford emergency treatment. So here's the practical move. Make a list. If two hospitals are similar in distance and one is nonprofit, well, that matters. Talk with your family. Put it on the fridge. Put it on the phone contacts. Make it easy for someone to help you the right way in an emergency. Now let's get into the part that makes people say, wait, what? That's real? Yes, this is real. We're talking spouse benefits because a lot of people are eligible for money and they never ever claim it. Let's start with current spouse benefits. If you're currently married and you want spouse benefits on your spouse's record, right? Spouse's record, there are some rules you need to know. You generally have to file for benefits on your own record first. And your benefit amount must be less than half of your spouse's full benefit amount at full retirement age. But here's the part people mess up, okay? People compare the wrong numbers. They will compare what's deposited into the bank every month and then say, oh no, I guess there's nothing for me. Wrong, and wrong again. Social Security uses something called the PIA, the primary insurance amount. That's the amount you would have received at your full retirement age, okay? That's the number Social Security uses for the 50% rule. So if you and your spouse are sitting on the couch doing the math, don't compare your current deposit amounts, okay? Go find your PIA and your spouse's PIA. If you don't know it, call and ask. Pretty simple, okay? Because people lose money simply by comparing the wrong numbers. And here's an example that makes it crystal clear. Let's say your benefits on your own record at full retirement age is $1,000. I want to keep it really simple, okay? And your spouse's full retirement age is $3,000. Half of your spouse's is $1,500. Now you don't get two checks totaling $2,500. You get your own for $1,000 plus a spouse top up of $500. That's pretty much how it works. And if you file early, spouse benefits can be reduced, same as early retirement benefits. Now, let's go to divorced spouse benefits because this is where people leave serious money on the table. To qualify for divorced spouse benefits, you generally must have been married to that person for 10 years. A lot of people say, well, we were married 9 years and 11 months. And unfortunately, that doesn't count. When they say 10 years, they mean 10 years. But there is a lesser known exception. It's called marriage periods to reach 10 years. And yes, many people have to push to get someone who knows how to process it. Sorry. Now, here's something else that frees people. If your ex remarried, it does not cancel your eligibility. It does not reduce their benefit. It does not affect their current spouse, and they often won't even know. So don't sit in silence thinking, oh my God, I don't want to cause trouble. This is separate. This is your earned benefit based on the rules. Now we get into the big one, you guys, the one that causes confusion and wrong answers from undertrained staff. And you might get one of those, so listen up. Independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. This matters because people are told you can't claim off your ex until your ex starts collecting. And that's not always true, okay? If you meet the requirements, you can claim even if your ex has not filed yet. So here are the basics you need to know. You must have been married at least 10 years. You must be divorced from that person. You must file on your own record. Your ex must be at least 62 years old. And for this specific independently entitled category, you generally must have been divorced at least 2 years. And that's a big deal, okay? So that's money people miss because they got one wrong answer and never asked again. Now, I'm going to give you one strategy that can literally change someone's finances without changing their lives at all. Protective filing. Only here. So if you think you might need benefits, don't wait until you track down every document, you guys, every marriage certificate. Oh, I got to find every divorce decree, every detail. Call them first and get an appointment on the books, because the date you contact Social Security can protect your start date, even if the appointment is months away. That can mean back pay you otherwise would have lost. Okay, so now let's move into the surviving spouse benefit, because this is where the rules feel heartbreaking. But knowing them can protect your family. Survivor benefits are different. If you were married when the person died, you don't need the 10-year rules. Okay, if you're already married when they died, you generally needed to be married 9 months. However, as always, there are always exceptions in special circumstances like accidental death or certain military-related situations. But the key point is, it's not automatically 10 years if you were still married at the time of death. Okay? And the surviving spouse benefits can be up to 100% of the deceased spouse benefit amount. Okay, so if you claim at your full retirement age, that's the key. Now, if you claim earlier, the amount is reduced. Now, here's another important one that most people miss. Survivor benefits can begin as early as age 60, not 62, 60. And if you are disabled, there's something called the disabled widower benefits, which can begin as early as age 50, if you meet the disability requirements. And that's major, because sometimes people file early, not only for income, but for healthcare access, okay? Especially because Medicare eligibility can change depending on what benefit program you're on and how long. Now, here's something powerful. If you're receiving spouse benefits and your spouse dies, your benefit can automatically switch to a survivor benefit. And the survivor benefits can include the value of delayed retirement credits that your spouse earned by waiting past the full retirement age, okay? But those delayed credits generally benefit you as a survivor, not as a living spouse. Now, one more Social Security truth I want to share with you. If someone tells you no, and you're pretty sure you meet the basic requirements, ask what exactly is missing. Is it the marriage duration? Is it that your benefit isn't less than half? Is it timing? Is it that the person is still alive versus deceased? Which would shift the 50% concept to the survivor concept, okay? And if you don't have the relationship or communication with the ex to know what's going on, simply call every 6 months. There's no drama with that. That's real strategy, because eligibility can change when their benefit changes or when their status changes. All right? Okay. Now, that's the Social Security side, and I want you to breathe for a second, because now we're going to shift into the Medicare side. And this is where I need you to hear this with your whole body. Not everything in life needs to be top tier. Would you agree? But healthcare is not the place to go cheap. If it costs you access, time, and options later. A lot of people don't need the top tier handbags or the top tier gasoline. Shoot, some of them don't even eat top tier food, right? If something happened, well, you could replace them with something you can afford and you can move on. But if your health breaks, you don't get a do-over. If you need a heart procedure, you're not shopping for the cheapest surgeon. If you get diagnosed with cancer, you're not looking for the most restrictive network. You want options. You want access. You want the ability to choose. Because healthcare, the stakes are too high, and you need to choose right the first time. And most people on Medicare aren't dealing with maybe someday. Most Medicare recipients live with ongoing conditions right now. So when you choose a Medicare plan, you're not choosing a coupon, you guys. You're choosing a system. Now, there are two main paths that most people take disregarding traditional Medicare. You've got Medicare supplement plans, often called Medicap, and you have Medicare Advantage plans. And I'm going to say this gently and clearly. This is not about judging anyone's choice, so don't do it, okay? People choose Advantage plans for real reasons, real budget reasons, real life reasons. But we have to understand the differences so nobody gets trapped. Let's talk about provider access first. With a Medicare supplement plan, you can usually see any provider that accepts Medicare. Most hospitals accept Medicare. Most doctors accept Medicare. That means, in practical terms, you have close to unlimited provider choice. With Medicare Advantage plans, well, you are choosing a network. That network can be an HMO, an HMO POS, or a PPO. Networks create limitations by definition. Some doctors accept some Advantage plans, but not others. Hospitals can be in network for one company and out of network for another. So you can love your plan until your doctor changes, your hospital changes, or the network changes. And network changes can happen. Sometimes even mid-year, okay? So now let's talk about referrals and gatekeeping, because this is a big one. With Medicare supplement plans, you generally don't need referrals in the same way. With many Advantage plans, especially HMO types, you may need referrals, and your primary doctor can become the gatekeeper. We like that, right? Now let's talk stability. A Medicare supplement plan is typically a lifetime policy. As long as you pay the premium, it can't be canceled for age, for health, for claims, or relocation. Medicare Advantage plans are year to year. They can be changed, pulled, or terminated by the company at the end of the year. This last year we saw it during as well. And here's where the financial structure really matters, you guys, because supplement plans have monthly premiums. Advantage plans often advertise zero premiums, but zero premiums doesn't mean zero costs. Advantage plans are usually pay as you go. Co-pays for hospital stays, co-pays for outpatient surgery, co-pays for MRIs, specialist co-pays, and you have a maximum out-of-pocket limit, okay? The point is this: you can pay very little in a calm year. Nothing really happened. But in a year that's hard, where you're dealing with serious illness, you can spend much more than you thought you were going to. Now, let's talk pre-authorizations, because this is the part that frustrates people because it can delay care. With Medicare supplement plans, You're not dealing with the supplement company approving your service. No, they stay in the insurance lane. If Medicare covers it and your doctor recommends it, that's the direct path to health and healing. With Medicare Advantage plans, pre-authorizations are more common for certain services, especially expensive ones. And yes, that can mean delays. Now, here is one of the most important Medicare details most people do not understand. When you are new to Medicare, you have a limited window, typically 6 months from your Part B start date, where you can enroll in a Medicare supplement plan with no medical underwriting, meaning no health questions, no denials based on pre-existing conditions. It's called a guaranteed issue. Now, that window is precious. If you miss it, in many states, not all, switching into a supplement plan later than that may require underwriting. And if your health has changed, you may not qualify. And that's why people can feel stuck later. Now, Advantage plans do not require underwriting the same way. You can enroll based on your area. But if you pick an Advantage plan and stay past certain trial windows, coming back to a supplement plan later might be difficult. So when people say, "Oh, I'll just switch later if I need to," sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. Okay? Now, if you do choose Medicare supplement coverage, the two most common top tier options are often a Plan G and Plan N. Plan G is the most comprehensive for many people after you meet the annual Part B deductible. Your out-of-pocket costs can be minimal. Plan N usually costs less each month, but it includes modest copays and does not cover certain excess charges, okay? If a provider bills them. Most don't, but they are there. Now, both are excellent. The right choice depends on your comfort level, your budget, and how you use healthcare. And that's important. This isn't about shame, it's about strategy. Because cheap may be fine when the stakes are low, but with healthcare, the stakes are almost always high. So I hope you guys like this. But I want to say before I close, I want to bring this whole episode back to one simple idea. You deserve what you paid for, okay? You deserve the benefits you earned, and you deserve to make Medicare choices with clarity and not panic, and not marketing, and not confusion. So here's what I want you to do after you listen to this episode. I want you to go right to the website, check your Social Security account and your earnings record. If you were married, divorced, or widowed, write down those timelines and ask about spouse or survivor eligibility. And if you're approaching Medicare or helping someone who is, don't choose a plan like you're buying a toaster, okay? Choose it like you're protecting the next decade of your life, because that's what you're doing, all right? Now, if this episode helped you even a little, do me a favor, the biggest favor, subscribe, like, and share. Send it to one person, because someone you love is one conversation away from getting the right benefit, or choosing the right coverage, or avoiding a mistake that cost them for years. I'm Monet Swan, and you're listening and or watching Secure 65 Health Plans. So stay informed, stay protected, and don't leave what's yours on the table. And as always, stay golden. Love you guys. Take care of each other. Bye.
Secure 65 class plans, we're singing life. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive. Secure 65 health plans where seniors thrive.
BibX Wealth Insurance Solutions.